Hello guys, in this video I will be talking about Django and Rails, or the title is Django versus Rails, and this question actually was asked by one of the subscribers, and my goal with this video is to explain key differences or key points when you want to make decision which one to use. And when there is a decision or comparison like this, actually first point or first item that you need to decide is about programming language, because that will be main tool or main instrument that you will use. Never ever visit Amsterdam Friday night. That's a lot of people. So I will continue from here. So in terms of language, we have Python and Ruby, and of course when you compare Python and Ruby, first of all is popularity, and Python will be always more popular. We have a lot of you have a lot of third parties, and in terms of Ruby, it's also quite popular, but it will lose when you compare by amount of libraries and popularity. And also another case is Python is always in top trending languages. So in top 5 you have always Python, so which is also good for finding new jobs. And in these terms, Django wins, because when you start with Django, you will start with a Python, and it gives you more guarantee on job. And another advantage of going with Django and Python will be that with Python you can do not only web development. Of course you can use Ruby also for scripting, but in terms of Python you can do machine learning, artificial intelligence. That's also a big advantage if you will stick to Python. And also if you just selecting or choosing your second language, I mean if you code on Java or .NET, and if you know also Python, it's always a big advantage. But you can say this also for Ruby or any other language. But I want to highlight this. In terms of Python, you always have this kind of popularity. It's always trending. That's a big advantage for Python. And as a second item, let's talk about similarities, because it's also very important when you're making a decision. And actually, in terms of Python and Django, Django and Rails, they are quite similar because they use the same architecture, which is MVC, Model View Controller. Of course, they have differences in naming, in terminology, but it is mostly the same. So that's a common part of this framework. They both use MVC architecture. Next item is companies or applications or websites using these frameworks. In terms of Django, we have Udemy, Pinterest, and Bitbucket. They all use somehow Django. In terms of Rails, we have Twitter, GitHub, and Airbnb. They rely on Ruby on Rails. But I personally don't like this item because big companies like Twitter, they don't use one technology. They usually have few, and they use them for different purposes. But I do agree that it is some kind of sign or signal for developers to stick with the technology. So if a big company or big technology use this language or framework, then it will be supported or maintained. I actually had this similar situation, and approximately 5 or something years ago I decided to move from .NET or ASP.NET MVC to something open source friendly, and basically I had the options like same options, Django or Rails, and what I did, I decided that I will work with both of them for 2 or 3 days, and we'll try everything from Hello World to some kind of to-do applications and try to deploy it and add tests and etc. And do the same with the both technologies and frameworks. And at the end, spend one day, compare them, and make a decision. And that's probably the best approach if you want to compare technical stuff or coding stuff. The only way or best way is that you have practice, you repeat the code, and then make a decision. That's always the best approach. So instead of asking someone else, do a little bit research, put some items that you will do a test, you will add a Docker, for example, try to deploy it, try to make to the application, do the same with two different frameworks, two different languages, and then at the end make a decision. That will always help and make a decision much more easier. And that's probably it for this topic, so I will try to keep it as short as possible because I want for you that you have these clear topics, you go through them by yourself and then make a decision. So if you already that decision or you have still some questions, put them in the comments. Let's have a discussion and see what we can do. And probably that's it for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.